Sup Nerds.
This is Dee.
And this is Shelby. And this is Bumpin Gums.
Welcome back to another episode of Bumpin Gums. It has been a little bit, but we are backish. And so in honor of Women's History Month, that's what we're going to be talking about today somewhat. Some of it's women's history. Some of it's just stuff that we wanted to talk about because why not?
Because, you know, fuck it.
Yeah. So should I think... I don't remember if you went last time or went first.
Remember.
I'll go first this time.
Yeah, go. You go first.
All right. So today, I am talking about the European common frog.
Yeah,
the female European common frog.
Yes.
So
tell me about them damn frogs.
First of all, for anybody that knows me like well enough, knows that I absolutely cannot stand frogs. I am creeped out by them so bad. Something about them just does not do it for me. I do not like frogs. But these frogs intrigued me. They intrigued me so much. I have a friend that loves frogs as well.
I think they're so freaking cute.
Most people do. I do not feel the same.
That's okay.
I just don't.
Fair.
But this frog is so there was these two researchers that were looking at some stuff about these frogs, and they were like, oh, let's look at their mating habits because like why not?
Yeah.
So they were like looking at their mating habits, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like all the female frogs, they're passive. They're not able to protect themselves. You know, they're just out here being snatched up by these male frogs, you know, with no type of fight.
How dare the male frogs do that?
What they didn't realize was that was not actually true.
Okay.
What they found out was them female frogs was like, hey, I don't want to be here, and so you will not take me. So some of them have gone through the lens of like fighting them back. They have done they will make this sound that mocks like a male, so they'll completely do something so that they appear to be male instead of female.
That. Yes.
The most dramatic, I think, which was my absolute fave, is to play dead.
Yes. Sometimes you just have to play dead and they just leave you alone.
These female frogs was like, leave me the fuck alone, Earl. I do not want to
fuck with you, Earl.
Leave me alone. You know what? You're not getting the picture.
She'd be like, you know, her homegirl's like, hey, girl, that Earl's coming by. Earl's coming by. Hurry up, girl. Play dead. But
they be all at the pond, and she'd be like, look, he see you from
he's coming.
She'd be, and then she'd be doing like, he see me still? Is he still?
I love these frogs.
These frogs are hilarious. I just thought it was so funny because you know, they found out that they had that avoidant behavior. There's some other insects and animals.
Avoidant behavior.
Yes, they did.
I love that.
They found some other things do that. Like there's a certain class of spider that does it, and something else, but I can't remember what it was.
I know praying mantis eat the heads.
Praying mantis do stuff too. The female species in just the animal kingdom in general is actually very interesting.
I think this is the reason why like males in the human species tried to make us feel inferior, because they know that we'd probably be like a praying mantis.
Because in the real world,
we probably would.
The female species
That's why
doing
they
all types of wild stuff to the males, and it is hilarious.
It is so funny to me.
So yeah, that was just a little fun little tidbit that I had about the frogs.
Yes.
And so my next thing, my actual topic, is about Roberta Flack. So
yes, I
want to talk about Roberta Flack because I don't know how many of you know, but she recently passed away on, I want to say the 24th. She passed away on the 24th of this year. So rest in peace to Roberta Flack. But I just want to talk about her and give a little information about her and all of that. So first of all, her name was Roberta Cleopatra Flack.
I know that's fucking right.
Come on, Roberta Cleopatra.
Strong name. Strong name.
Homegirl was a music prodigy.
Of course she was.
Oh, so she was born February 10th, 1937 in North Carolina. Homegirl, like I said, music prodigy. She was extremely talented at the piano, started playing it at 9. At 15, she had a full ride scholarship to Howard University. They was like, hey girl, you coming to our school? She was like, absolutely. So at 15,
hell yeah, I'll fucking be there.
Yeah, I'll be there in a sec. At 15, she went to Howard. She got her little degree, and then she went to go teach at a school in North Carolina. As time goes on, she's so apparently her and Donny Hathaway were like friends. Like she would take the money that she had from teaching. She would help her other friends that were artists and stuff like that.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so it was really cool in that aspect. Which Donny Hathaway and her had actually done some really amazing work together. They did. She had some great. Roberta Flack had some great albums by herself. Like, don't get me wrong, but some of her duets with Donny Hathaway was really, really good. And one of my favorites is "I Who Have Nothing."
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I love that song.
That's a good one.
I have heard it redone in a couple of different ways, and I've liked it pretty much each time. But I just love how they sing it. I love how it sounds when they sing it. Their voices together is just amazing. So I just thought it was great.
That's cool shit.
She is familiar. She had songs that did well on the charts, on the Billboard charts, like "Feel Like Making Love," "The First Time I Saw Your Face," which, little side story about that song. Most people thought it was about, like, you know, a lover and things like that. It was about her cat.
I love that. Yes, queen, sing about your cat. Fuck these men or women or lovers. Sing about the cat.
So, and
love is infinite, bitch.
Infinite. And then another popular song, which most people are very, very familiar with, was "Killing Me Softly" with his song. Yeah. So that was a song that was done by Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. So that is another popular one of her songs as well.
Love that
many people do know about. I wanted to find like some random stuff about her, not necessarily stuff that like most people would know about.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of people, I don't know how many people even, you know, are really familiar. Hopefully more people are familiar with her.
I hope so, because she's fantastic.
She's a fantastic lady, did some really great things.
Yeah.
But she was like a really big advocate for, you know, for race, the LGBTQ communities. She did a lot of advocacy for both of those areas. She was neighbors with Yoko Ono.
Oh, wow.
For a little bit.
I wonder how that went.
I guess they were really cool because a homegirl helped her make her song, which was a dedication to John Lennon.
Love that.
So yeah, she was like, Yoko was like, "Hey girl," and she was like, "What can I help you with?" And she was like, "I need help with this song." And she's like, "I got you, girl." Because let's talk about it. Miss Flack used to do the things.
Yes, she did.
She was putting a lot of stuff together.
Yes,
songs,
she did.
Doing all the things.
Yes, she did.
She also, this is another random thing that I found out. She was she was the first Black woman to live in this apartment complex in Upper East Side of New York.
Nice.
Or West Side. Maybe it was the West Side. I think it was the East Side. West Side.
One of the sides.
Yeah, one of the West Side of New York. She was the first Black woman to live in that apartment complex, which I was like, that's kind of cool. Random, but like really cool. Also, she influenced the Quiet Storm drama, which was really big.
Yeah.
Very popular. And and so later in life, she did release that she was diagnosed with ALS. That was in 2022 that she let the public know. Not really sure as to when she was diagnosed with ALS initially, but people were aware of it by 2022. And again, then she recently passed on February 24th, 2025. So
yeah,
I just wanted to acknowledge her, all of her greatness. There's a ton of information about this woman.
Love that woman.
She actually had been like the first musician to ever get like back-to-back Grammys in the same category or something like that. Something she did the things.
She really did.
Things. So
she really did.
I just wanted to talk about her and share my things about her.
Love that. Well, thanks, Dita.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Dita.
No problem.
Happy you could be here.
Thanks.
Yes.
I do what I can.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you guys about a little bit of my shit that I've been fucking reading on. And of course, it's Women's History Month and all that. So we're going to talk about some very fantastic women, some historically fantastic women who aren't talked about enough. So that's what we're going to talk about. First, I wanted to actually start off and talk about International Women's Day, which International Women's Day started March 8th of 1908. Women marched through New York for better working conditions and the right to vote. The Socialist Party in the U.S. in 1909. I'm sorry, it wasn't created in 1908. That's just the start of it. That became a national day. So then Socialist Party in the U.S. in 1909 celebrated the first National Women's Day based off of what happened in March 8th, 1908 with the marching, blah, 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 right? And then in 1911, the first International Women's Day occurred and was celebrated in Austria, Denmark, and Germany. So that's kind of how it happened. It started off from us voting for our rights, which are slowly being taken away. Then there's a movement. There was a red lipstick movement, right? Because I've been seeing this a lot on social media about people being like, oh, Republicans don't. Yes, look at them red lips. Republicans don't know what the meaning of this is. A lot of Democratic women, liberals, whatever, just women in general are going out and they're starting to wear red lipstick in protest to our current president. Anyways, I want to talk about where that came from. So it started in 1970. British Parliament outlawed red lipstick. They said that it was causing men to engage in relations that they didn't want to be in. The church got on board because obviously Puritan culture.
You know, it's so interesting. Sorry, not to cut you off, but it's just always so interesting that like the blame is always like, well, you guys need to do this instead of like these men don't know how to control themselves.
No.
It's, you guys need to stop wearing red lipstick because they should be allowed to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anywho's then. So no, you're absolutely correct though. But then the Puritan culture thing, they came up in here and they were like, hey, not only is red lipstick for prostitutes, but it's for witches. It's for witches. So anyways, yeah, basically. So, but in 1920, Elizabeth Arden started handing out bright red lipsticks to suffragettes marching. Then during World War II, women were encouraged to wear red lipstick because they were like, hey, we are working. Let's show these people that we came together. This is what we did. We were able to work. So that's when the red lipstick movement like really took off again.
I'm going to be wearing red lipstick every day of my rest
all
of my
the
life.
Fucking time. I love red lipstick.
Maybe not every day, but
I love red lipstick. Okay, so moving on. I'm probably going to butcher some of these names, but I'm going to do my best. In 1955, there was a woman by the name of Abaka Chauta. She was the last warrior queen in India. So in 1955, Portuguese tried to invade India, and she was on the coastal land of India. She swooped in and was like, absolutely the fuck not. Her ships came out in the dead of night, destroyed everything, and then the next day they were gone. Like, she was a badass, right? So she fought alongside her armies. She did not sit in her throne. She was out there with a sword and shield, and she was fighting.
A bad bitch.
She ended up being captured. She was such a fucking baddie. She ended up being captured by the enemies because her husband sold her ass out. So what did she do? She escaped and was like, fuck this, I'm gonna fucking raise hell. And she did. She raised hell. She unleashed her fury, and she ended up fighting off the Portuguese armies, and she ended up reigning for 40 years.
And she went after her husband and his homies.
And she did. She went after her husband and his homies.
One thing I remember about
she was like, I am gonna come, that's it, you ain't gonna fuck with me. You ain't gonna fuck with me. That I thought was badassery.
Such a badass bitch.
Here's another thing, right? So everybody knows Socrates, everybody knows Plato, they all know those people, right? But what they don't know is Socrates was actually trained mostly by a woman named Aspasia, I think, or Aspasia.
I know I don't know how to pronounce it.
Astasia, right? So Socrates actually learned from her a lot. She taught philosophers all throughout ancient Greece. She was married to, what was his name? Pericles. Anyways, she was married to Pericles. But people actually, a lot of philosophers came to visit Athens to specifically speak with her and talk with her. Socrates himself called her the teacher of rhetoric, and she was actually from 47 BCE to 400 BCE, but she was looked down upon by other women because she did not portray normal Athenian women, like womanly things, characteristics, due to her attitude.
Because she was educated, and
because
she was like,
that
fuck
bitch.
y'all.
Because she was that bitch. And the thing is she's not mentioned enough. Socrates is mentioned, all these people is mentioned, but she's not mentioned a lot particularly because she's a woman.
Of course. And, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So I wanted to let that be known that is also a thing. And then moving on, in recent events, I thought this was crazy because I didn't know this was a thing. In 1975, there was a policy that was put out in Thailand where children had to have specific haircuts. They all had to have the same haircut while they were in school, primary school, all throughout school. It had to be, that's why you always see the kids with the short bobs. So you have the girls with the short bobs, and you have boys that has to be very close shaved to the head. And maybe like a short length on top, right? Has to be very clean, whatever. It just happened very recently that a court decision abolished a 50-year-old regulation dictating students' hairstyles, granting them greater freedom of expression, with schools now able to determine their own hairstyle policies. So schools are now, it's up to them, but it's like, for 50 fucking years, these children had been told you cannot have your hair any other way than this way. And teachers would actually go in and cut these kids' hair.
Could you imagine rolling up to the school and your kid has a completely different hairstyle than what they left with?
Girl.
And like not only completely different, but like cut.
Pissed.
I'd be hot.
Pissed. So upset. Oh my God, I would be absolutely upset. But anywho's, and that's what I have. I just wanted to throw in a little tidbit about Thailand thing because I just think it's super cool that other countries are progressing, yet we cannot. We are digressing. So just wanted to put that out there. Rapidly. 50 years of freedom and all of that is being taken away from us very quickly. So, anywho's in, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being here for our info dump. Thank you for being nerds with us along the way. We appreciate you. We love you.
That's it.
Great. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.